Can teenagers with high-functioning autism become so depressed that they become a risk for suicide? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. Research reveals a 50% demonstration of what we call suicidal ideation, that in other words talking about killing yourself, with Aspergers and high-functioning autistic teens. When we look at the cases of teens on the autism spectrum who have attempted suicide or talk about committing suicide, the main issues usually revolve around self-esteem and social isolation. Do you think your teenager may be suicidal? If so, then be sure to do the following. Ask if she is thinking about suicide. Ask if she has a plan for the suicide attempt. If so, take her seriously and move quickly to get help. Remove anything that would help him carry out his plan. For example, guns, drugs, alcohol, knives, and so on. Don't act shocked if he has a plan, and don't ask why, because that will encourage defensiveness. Don't bait the suicidal ideation. In other words, don't say, "I think you're just bluffing, I don't believe you." Don't be afraid to talk with him about the suicide attempt. Talking about it does not make it worse, but better. Don't be sworn to secrecy, instead get support. And don't give up if your adolescent shuts you out at first. Also, don't tippy-toe around the issue of teen depression in an attempt to protect your other kids. Kids know when something is wrong. When left in the dark, their imaginations will often jump to far worse conclusions. Don't try to talk your teen out of his depression, even if his feelings or concerns appear silly or irrational to you. Simply acknowledge the pain and sadness he's feeling. If you don't, he will feel like you don't take his emotions seriously, and he may prove a point by following through with the suicide. Isolation only makes depression worse, so encourage your adolescent to see friends and praise efforts to socialize. Living with a depressed adolescent can be difficult and draining. At times you may experience exhaustion, rejection, despair, aggravation, or any other number of negative emotions. During this trying time, it's important to remember that your teen is not being difficult on purpose. Of all the people who have committed suicide, 80% have given some kind of warning. If your teenager on the autism spectrum has been bullied over the years, any threats of suicide should be taken even more seriously. Students that are bullied are around 2 to 9 times more likely to consider suicide than non-victims. One study found that at least half of suicides among young people are related to bullying. 10 to 14-year-old teen girls are most likely to commit suicide based on this study. Make sure you take any threat of suicide seriously.
Hey, this is Mark, and I wanted to extend an invitation to all the parents out there who are in need of support and education in dealing with the challenges associated with parenting a child or a teenager with autism spectrum disorder. I have a community support group on Facebook, and I post videos and articles several times a day. So get your support on. Find the link in the description area below this video and start reading and watching videos.